Hello. Hello. I am Alicia Richard, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the ultimate place where we talk about locks, life, and the Lord. So, if you are interested in any of those topics that I just mentioned, then make sure that you hang right on out and subscribe to the channel so that you'll never miss out on any amazing content. So, in today's video, girl, I am going to be talking about distractions, okay? Because we all know that we could be distracted and obsessed by so many different things that really just deter us from reaching our goals and our dreams that we have set for. So, as I dive right on into today's content, you're going to see me looking down at my notes because, yeah, I wrote some good things down about how we could really just stay on track, not just for the rest of 2025, but as we bring in this new year of 2026 and beyond. Girlfriend, I want you to be so set up to you, like, you know what? I ain't even going to get distracted today because Lily done came and did her YouTube video and done talked to me. Okay, so I just want this to be a gentle reminder about the importance of how distractions can really deter us from our goals and our dreams. All right, so let's get to the nitty gritty when it comes to these distractions. Our time. Right? There are so many things that are just taking up our time. We have social media that is really consuming a lot of our time, a lot of our energy. A lot of times we are just talking about the time, like, you know what? I don't have time because of our age, right? So a lot of times I know with me, we see people all the time online talking about, oh my gosh, I made $10,000 a month and they like 20 something years old. So a lot of times it's like, now, you know what? That little baby is too young to be talking about they make $10,000 a month. And here I am struggling on my 9 to 5. Because when it comes to time, it seems like people are just like, some people, not all, but it just seems like the major storyline of things is like, you know what? I'm going to make $10,000 a month, and this is how we're going to be balling in this season. And then you compare your time to someone else's time. You see what I'm saying? So, in this season right here, we got to be careful about our time, because I remember when I thought about like time in reference to age, right? So I started college, but I didn't start like the time that everyone else started college, like the average person would start college. So when I started my college journey, everybody else was like 18 and 19. And I'm like, wait a minute, like I'm 21, but I'm like a freshman. You know what I'm saying? And then when I started college, I also already had a baby, right? So I actually got pregnant at the age of 19 years old, at the tender age of 19 years old. I'm a teen. Like, what am I doing being somebody's mom? So when it came to time, I used to look at things like, you know what? This person is 18. This person is 19. And it really used to bother me that I was like 4 years or 5 years older than some of the people that were in my classroom. And there were so many different things that some of the people that I went to college with that they were able to do and I wasn't able to do because I had a son. Thankfully, I did have a good support system like my mom and dad that still help me to this day with my children. However, that age and that time, I always used to compare myself and say, dang, like, because then during that time, I didn't know no better. So it wasn't the fact that I actually went to college and that I was older and a little more mature and I already had a baby. That wasn't even a thing. The thing was the age that was the thing. And that really deterred me a lot of times. So when we talk about distractions, when we talk about age, is really that distracts us. Like that age part distracts us from really getting to where we need to be, because we will say, wow, I'm too old, or wow, like look at them, they're young but I'm older. You see what I'm saying? So the thing about it is that when it comes to the age part, we got to remember, right? I was doing some research and I saw like how Sam Walton, he founded Walmart at the age of 44. Okay, like Sam, now you started Walmart at 44. Like it was something else. I saw that Walt Disney, like he started Disney World at the age of 53. So to think like, oh my gosh, like they are starting these multi-million dollar businesses now, but the age that they started was actually like 44 and 53. So if we really think about it, like, that's a pretty good timing. That is some pretty good timing, right? So when it comes to the age, when it comes to the time, we definitely have to be mindful, because the differentiation of time as well is that now that I am a lot more mature, I'm able to handle things differently, right? So let's go back to, say, for instance, that 25-year-old, and no shade if you are 25 and you making $10,000, that's fine. But right now, I'm not making $10,000, but that seems like the ultimate thing that everyone wants to make. So let's just say, for instance, that 25-year-old, and I'm just giving an example, is making $10,000 a month. However, though, they may not be able to manage all the different responsibilities that come with making that amount of money. So when it comes to that age, when it comes to that maturity, when it comes to where you are in life, some things come at a certain time, because now you able to handle it. Now your level of maturity is different. And even when I think about my story, as in when I went to college, I wasn't the average age of everyone else around me. However, I carried myself differently because I already had a child at 19 years old. So it was some of the things that Alicia Richard wasn't able to do, because I got to go home and take care of my baby. I got to go to work. So sometimes those things actually aren't a burden, but a blessing. Sometimes God is looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, now everybody got a pass, but I'm just saying, if I didn't have my baby, my baby probably kept me from getting in a whole lot of extra trouble. If I think about it, he probably kept me from getting into things I ain't had no business. I probably would have had a name that I ain't had no business, and it's called a HO. I ain't even gonna do that. But I'm just saying, I could have been like that out there in these streets. No offense to nobody, but sometimes you are protected, and that level of maturity is actually a blessing that you didn't get it at that time, that is delayed, because they always say delayed is not denied. So anyway, the thing about being distracted and realizing where you are in your life is, what words are you speaking over yourself? And this is another thing, because our words have so much power, our words have so much authority, our words really determine the future that we are about to have. So when we talk about our words, the thing about it is, what are you saying over yourself, right? And I was saying that of course, they always say like life and death is in the power of your tongue. So if you speak death, and not in a way of, oh my gosh, I'm going to die, like whatever, but if you speak those negativities, then those are the things that are going to come to you. A lot of times people like to say, like use the terms vibrations, or is your vibration high, or is your vibration low, whatever resonates with you. But what I do want to point out is that a lot of times we are so distracted because of the words that we are saying to ourselves, and because we think so much about other people, about what other people are thinking about us. And I also saw this as well, right? There's like that 80-40-60 rule, that 18-40-60 rule. So when you're 18, you're thinking about what everybody else is thinking about you. I know I used to do that all the time. Like when I was in high school, it was, oh my gosh, did they like what I wear? Am I fitting in right now? You know what I'm saying? And then when you are 40, you really don't care what other people are thinking about you. And as I am approaching that age 40, I feel myself getting more to that place of not really caring about what other people may think about me, because right now it's go time. And then when you get to the age 60, you are really going to find out that nobody was thinking about you at all. Okay, so using that 18, that 40, and that 60 rule can really be applied to you right now. And I hope that you are getting to the place where you like, you know what, I don't even care what people think, because that is a distraction. Thinking about what other people think about you is a distraction, and that keeps you in that place, right? Another thing about distraction, when we think about distraction, and when we are reaching our dreams and our goals, we always get reminded. The enemy has a way of reminding us about our past. Okay, right. So it's almost like every time when you think about going to that next level, sometimes you might get that reminder, girl, you remember what you did a few years ago. That past, right? You're reminded about that past. You are reminded about some of the things that you may not even be proud of. And that keeps you in that box. Because I know y'all, and I'm just going to be so human and so transparent right now. I've done some things in my past. My mama will probably say, "Now, Alicia, I know you ain't did that," right? But if we be honest, the enemy has a way to remind us about the things that we done in our past. And then if we keep being reminded about the things that we done in our past, then we can't move forward. So if we really think about it, then that is also a distraction, right? So as Apostle Paul said, forget those things which are behind you and reach towards the mark, or press towards the mark ahead, right? So when we are pressing towards the mark ahead, forgetting those things behind me, yes, 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 because I don't get in the trap of being reminded about the things that you've done in your past, because girl, that's in the rear view mirror. What we doing right now is we are reaching forward. We are going to the next level, and as we go to the next level, we gotta forget those things. Yes, now I ain't even gonna lie. Now I'm gonna remember them days that I did some things, because it was one time my mama said that she was like, you know what? People be lying sometimes when you say like God delivered you from a world, God delivered you from a miserable world of sin. And she was just like, that's not the truth, because we enjoyed our sin. We enjoyed the sin. We enjoyed having a good time out there doing our things, right? However, those things are behind us now. So as we begin to press forward, as you begin to go into your next season, yeah, we know that the past is there, but don't let that past overshadow your future. So what I'm telling you today is that the distractions that play such a thing is, again, time and that age, right? Am I old enough, right? Am I mature enough, or I am too old, or all of those excuses. The next thing is, what words are you speaking over yourself? And then of course the past. Now I'm going to talk about this last thing before we leave, and the distraction is also starting from zero, right? Because a lot of times you may see, let's say for instance, you are thinking about starting your YouTube channel. However, you're comparing your journey to someone that's been doing YouTube probably for like 4 or 5, 6 years, probably got like 10,000 subscribers and all of these things, but that's their journey and that's their path. And one of the things that may be stopping you right now, that distraction, is saying, I don't have the following. It's saying, that self-doubt is saying, I just posted a video and nobody's watching, right? The distraction may be, well, I don't even know how to create, right? So all of those things, all of that negative self-talk plays such a role in if you are going to move forward. So I challenge you today to move forward. I challenge you today that yes, you may have had a past. Yes, you may have spoken in the past some negative things over your life. Yes, you may say, you know what, I am too old, but now it's time to put all of that aside and let's walk into your destiny. All right. So this is a gentle reminder, a gentle push as we are going into this next season, is that we are no longer going to accept, I'm going to wait till later. No, we're going to put the distractions aside. And in this season, we are going to move forward. So if anything that I have said today resonated with you, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I thank you so much for being on this incredible journey with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.